Welcome to the Careers by Jen podcast, episode 184. Today on the podcast, Jen introduces 13 simple and effective ways to boost your career. Tune in next time while Jen is away on vacation, and I will be guest hosting the podcast entitled 14 Simple and Effective Ways to Kill Your Career. There's actually only 13, but I'm more superstitious than Jen is.
You're listening to the Careers by Jen podcast with me, Jen Swanson, the podcast that helps you to get the job, love your work, and advance your career. Maybe you're not looking for a new job. Maybe you have a career you're fairly happy with, but you're feeling stuck, or you're in a rut, or you're bored, or like you don't really have an edge. Well, today I'm going to give you 13 simple and effective ways that you can boost your career and feel like you're moving forward again. And I'm going to begin with something you should be doing every single day right after this.
Are you procrastinating? Do you want to start a job search but aren't quite sure where to begin? Is it all just a little overwhelming? At Careers by Jen, we have a 5-day Jumpstart Your Job Search Challenge to help you get unstuck and move toward finding your dream job. Every day for 5 days, you'll receive an email to your inbox that asks you to complete one task. Every task you complete moves you closer toward your goal. The best part about this challenge is that it's absolutely free. Come over to CareersbyJenn.com and you'll see the 5-day Jumpstart Your Job Search Challenge on the right-hand side of the screen. Click on the image of Jen, sign up with your email address, and you'll be 5 days closer to reaching your goal. Why wait when you can get busy? Visit CareersbyJenn.com after this podcast.
Like flossing your teeth and making your bed, the number one thing you should be doing every single day is our first point, and that is managing your career. The thing is, no one else can do this for you. Many people miss this critical bit of work and let their careers just happen to them. And that's fine. Sometimes it works out okay, but why would you leave it to chance when you can actually have some control over it? What do I mean when I say manage your career? Well, first of all, you need to intentionally think about it. Have you sat down and thought about how you would like your career to go? Maybe you need to set some goals, decide where you want to be in a year from right now, and then work toward getting there every single day. Use your voice, speak up about your goals to those that you feel safe talking to, and plan your actions to point you in the direction of where you want to be. It's not about chance. It's actually about doing. So that is point number 1 and the most important point. Point number 2, know what you are great at. You get asked this question about your strengths in your interview, but since your interview, have you thought about what you're good at? What are your strengths? It's important to know and do more of those things that you're good at and to see if you can get even better at what you're good at. There is always room for improvement. So that was point number 2, know what you are great at. Point number 3, know what you're not great at. Same thing. What are your weaknesses? Here is a really great opportunity to focus on turning those weaknesses into strengths. So maybe you need to write them out and pick one and focus some intentional effort on improving that one thing for a month. Because 30 days makes a habit, right? So pick one thing, put it on a sticky note or in a notification on your phone, somewhere that you'll be reminded of it every day. And then get busy working on that thing to turn it from a weakness into a strength. Number 4, be reliable. Be present. Be not distracted. Be on time. Show up prepared when you're supposed to be and be willing to work. It's absolutely amazing how many employers that I talk to who just want to find employees who want to work. So if you do what you say you will do, when you say you will do it, you'll be one of the most reliable and trustworthy employees. And why wouldn't you be given future opportunities if you were that reliable and you did what you said you would do, and you showed up when you said you would, and you got things done when you said you would? I mean, there's always something that goes wrong. There's always extenuating circumstances. But in general, are you showing up? Are you present? Are you there? Not just physically, but with your whole being. Are you there? Number 5 is to give honest feedback. If you're asked something, or part of your job is maybe to give feedback, if you're in a management or supervisory role, do it with compassion and be honest about it. Talk about the action or the behavior, not the person. So, for example, if you're giving feedback to somebody on a report that they've written, you might say something like, it would be really helpful to have someone else proofread the report for errors before submitting it, rather than you just saying to the person, you can't spell, or your reports are full of mistakes, they're not good enough. That's not being compassionate. If you give them a solution as to what they could do, then you are being more helpful. So offer solutions and give feedback to be helpful, not hurtful. If you're kind yet truthful, you'll be very well respected. Number 6 is to ask for feedback yourself. It's really hard to improve and therefore boost your career if you don't know what areas need improving. If you ask for feedback, though, one caveat is to be gracious in your accepting of it. Even if you don't like what you hear, it doesn't mean that you have to agree with the feedback. But chances are, if you've heard this feedback more than once, there's some truth to it. And if you've asked for feedback, then you need to be gracious in receiving it. And it's important to thank the person who's giving you the feedback, because even and especially if you don't like it, feedback is meant to help you. And it can take courage to give feedback effectively. So in essence, this person has given you a gift. So it's important to thank them for their honesty with you. And then you can get on to starting to plan how you can improve this thing that they've given you feedback on. This kind of motivation and self-growth on your part will definitely get noticed, because people who don't ask for feedback and just wait to be told if they're messing up are not taking control of their careers. If you're asking for feedback and you're doing something about the feedback that you receive, then you will progress in your career much more quickly than if you just wait. Number 7 is figure out how to feel good. Get healthy. A healthy employee tends to be a happier employee and tends to take less sick time, which is a bonus to everyone. If you feel good, you can be more productive and more satisfied in your career. So do the things that everyone says to do. Eat healthy food. Eat real food, not processed fast food most of the time, right? I mean, everyone falls off the wagon and every once in a while has to grab something because they're in a hurry. But if for the most part you're eating real healthy food, then your body is going to be less stressed and is going to thank you for it. How about getting some exercise? Move a little. Park at the very end of the parking lot when you have to go to the grocery store and walk. Just take the stairs. Just do things that will help you to be moving more throughout the day. And the third thing is to get better sleep. Any one of these things can be something that you start working on. Again, one thing at a time, one step at a time. Whether we like it or not, I thought this was an interesting concept. We are judged in our first impressions by how we look. And so being the picture of vitality and health will actually be to your benefit in more ways than one in the workplace, because it's not just that you will feel better and you will be more productive, but you'll look healthy. And again, when we're meeting people for the first time, or we're being considered for our stamina in our ability to do things, that can make a difference. All right, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, if you have listened to last week's episode, I told you about our exciting renovation that is happening right now and how we've had to move our podcast equipment into a less than ideal situation for the next several weeks while our studio is being built. I also told you that I wasn't going to tell you exactly what I was doing to make the sound as good as it can be in this temporary setting. But you know what? I've had a change of heart. Several of you have asked, and some have even tried guessing. And so I am going to reveal the secret of what I am doing right after this. Do you want someone to listen? Do you need help setting goals for yourself? Do you want someone to keep you accountable for your progress and to ask good questions that will help to move you toward your success? Have you got a resume that you want reviewed or updated? Do you need help deciding what kind of work you'd like to transition into? If any of these sound like you, I've got some coaching spaces open at CareersbyJenn, and I would be happy to work with you to achieve your goals. From a single session resume review to multi-session career or life coaching, there are several packages to choose from. Go to CareersbyJenn.com, click on online programs, and you will see the coaching packages on the courses page. Select your package and let's get started on your future today. If you like what you're hearing today, please share this show. And if you really like it, come over to Careers by Jenn podcast on iTunes and leave us a rating and a review. The more people listen, the more people I can help, and that's what it's all about. So the big reveal. Picture this. Instead of being in an office like I was before, surrounded by bookshelves full of books that muffle sound and make for a very good recording space, my computer is now in our bedroom, where there is a hardwood floor, a sliding glass door onto a deck, no bookshelves, no anything soft on the walls, so the sound would be all echoey and bouncing around. It's still a little bit echoey. But for the ingenious idea that Scary Voice Guy had, which is to take a big fuzzy green bathrobe and put it over top of my head and over top of the microphone and the computer and record the show that way in a hot, dark, green, fuzzy fort of sorts. So that's what I'm doing right this very minute. And I can tell you it's dark and it's hot and it looks ridiculous, and I'm trying not to move so that I don't rustle the microphone. But hey, sounds okay, doesn't it? This is what I have to do for the next many episodes while the new podcast studio is being built. Oh, the things that I do for you, dear listener. If you want to see pictures of this ridiculousness, I will post them on Instagram as of the launch of this show. So go to Instagram, Careers by Jenn on Instagram, and I might even put it on the Careers by Jenn Facebook page, and you'll be able to see how ridiculous my little fuzzy green fort is. But hey, it works. So there you go. All right, back to the list of 13 simple and effective ways to boost your career. We are now on number 8. Number 8 is take your days off. Take your vacation time. It gives you perspective. It allows you to rejuvenate. It prevents burnout. It gives your body and your brain a rest. You are not indispensable. Your coworkers will manage while you're away, and your future self will thank you for your healthy and wise choice of looking after you. So take your days off, take your vacation time, get your rest, because honestly, it's worth it. Number 9 is improve your communication skills. Now, longtime listeners will know that this podcast used to be called Communication Diva because I am passionate about the practice of communication. And I say practice on purpose because communication is not something you can check a box once and say, there, I have excellent communication skills now. It's actually an ongoing, lifelong practice. So where do you need improvement? Do you interrupt people before they're finished speaking? Are you not listening as effectively as you could? Are your emails very professional? Or do people misinterpret them often? Is there one piece in the vast realm that makes up communication that you could choose to work on that would have a big impact on how you function in your career. Maybe it's how you first meet someone. It could be as simple as improving your handshake and your eye contact. Ask your close friends and your family, anybody you trust and feel comfortable with, what you could use improving on as far as communication skills go. And then do it. You are your best investment, and this is one way that you can improve your career. The 10th point is learn to say no. And I love this one. It took me a long time to learn this point, but it is so worth it. Set boundaries. Don't take on more than you can effectively handle. Say no when you know that you need to, and not just to the things that you really don't want to do. You know, some of the hardest things to say no to are things that you know you could be great at and that you would like doing, but have no idea how you could do them with everything else that you have going on. Fun or prestigious things are sometimes even harder to say no to, but knowing your limit is a really, really good thing to know. And lots of people are bad at this. Lots of people don't have any idea that it's okay to say no at times. Not every time, but it's okay to say no and to set boundaries and to be able to manage the things that you already have to manage without taking on more. So learn to say no. Number 11, learn how to delegate. If you suffer from perfectionism like I do, delegating can be difficult. And you know what? It's a very good skill to develop. Letting go of having to have something done your way is really good practice. And delegating can lighten your load and can actually help you get more done. It can also foster a sense of teamwork if you delegate appropriately and allow other people to do things that normally you would do yourself. And maybe there are teachable moments in there for you and for the other person. So learning how to delegate is a really good skill to have. The 12th thing is take more training. This is a fabulous way to boost your career. Learn something new. It's good for your brain. It can be work-related or it doesn't have to be. Take a class, any kind of a class. It's an energizing thing. It can motivate you. It can inspire you. And you'll meet interesting new people. Maybe you would like to be better at presentations that you have to make in your workplace. So you could take a public speaking class or you could join Toastmasters. Would you like to really learn a computer program that you are struggling with? Well, maybe you can sign up for a course and learn how to do that more effectively. Maybe you need to travel for your career, so signing up for a language class would be a good idea. Whatever it is, continuing education is always something that you can do, and if it's job-related, it looks great on your resume or in your annual performance review. It looks very good that you are taking time to further your education and your training while you're already in your career, because we can all improve in things. And so stretching your brain and taking more training is an excellent idea. The 13th point is risk, stretch, and be a little scared. So stepping out of your rut or your comfort zone to do something that you are not super comfortable doing is what I mean by this. Risk, stretch, and be a little scared. You'll learn, you will grow, and you will very often surprise yourself. In the last chapter of my book, What They See, How to Stand Out and Shine in Your New Job, there is a 30-day risk challenge chapter where I ask readers to do something that stretches them every single day for 30 days. It's a really good way to show yourself that you can do what you set your mind to. You don't have to have all the answers when you begin. You can learn as you go. But the idea is to step out and get just a little bit scared that you might not be able to do something. And then you can celebrate when you actually find that you can do it. So, dear listener, that's the end of this list. I have one more little bonus tip for you before I go, and that is to focus on your career. Don't worry so much about what your coworkers are doing or not doing or what others are doing or not doing, because you can only work on you. And you know what? You've got this. You can boost your career one step at a time, and you'll be really glad that you did. You've been listening to Careers by Jen with Jen Swanson. If you like what you heard, please share this. You know, if every single person listening today shared this episode with just one friend, our audience would be twice as big just like that. And the more people we can help with our content, the better. So help out a friend and help grow our audience by sharing this show with someone you know who would benefit from the content. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that, and together we can make a difference. Until next time, take good care.